I'm usually pretty bad with recording videos, talking videos. I guess I usually take one or two tries and redo intros and stuff. But I'm gonna try and keep this one on first take because I only have a few things to say and it's not the most complicated. So I'll try and get through it. I got 2 points to make. See if I can nail them both. You guys know that I've been struggling the past good while, and a lot of that has to do. I talked about in my 6-year video. I haven't been consistent. That's number one. But I also have now been trying to take care of myself, my physical form, as well as a dog, and live with my girlfriend, which are all things that I am 100% happy with. I would not trade my life for anything else in the world. Just a few months ago, I bought a house in Spokane. I moved from this 50-minute radius that I lived in for all of my life in Southern California up 2 states way far away from wherever I've been. And it was a big change, but I'm adjusting to it pretty well. A lot better than I thought. And on YouTube side, you guys probably think that I'm not because my uploads haven't been that great. And, if I moved up here to do my job and I'm not doing my job very well, can you really say I'm adjusting well? I don't know. That's not really for you to decide. But for me, I'm happy. I think that's the biggest thing. I think a lot can be done when you're happy, even though it looks like not a lot might be. I'm very happy where I am right now. And that's a really cool thing to be able to say because during all last year in Los Angeles, it was a challenge to be happy. And obviously I wasn't very happy prior to moving out because, that's why I moved out, was to get a new fresh start. But adjusting took a while. Shit. Some of you guys that are watching this right now are probably older than me. Some of you guys are around my age and shit. Some of you guys might be a little bit younger than me around this time. You're prepping for the move out of the college or whatever the hell it may be, leaving the parents' house and leaving wherever the hell you are. And it's a hard adjustment, trying to get things into gear. I got to pay my own bills now. I mow my own lawn. I buy my own groceries. Like I do everything, I upkeep my life and it's a big change. And the bigger thing with that has to do with this video and why I'm updating you guys is that you guys remember a year ago, I think it was around a year ago, I had mentioned that I wanted to start doing a workout routine because, see if I can give myself an angle a little bit here. Hey, do I look a little bit thin to you? Do I look just a tiny bit like a twig? And that's okay if you say yes, because I'm fine with it. I'm 6 foot 135, and if you don't know, that's underweight by a little bit. Not terribly, but pretty underweight. Doctors tell me to eat, not just people, doctors. So there's that. A year ago, I had mentioned that I wanted to start working out, and I did. Actually, if you look back on some of the videos from a year ago, even though I cringed every time I see myself without a beer and those glasses that made me look like I was 15 years old, we won't talk about that. I was actually putting on a decent physique. Like, I had my shoulders in some videos. I was wearing, what are the douchebag shirts or whatever the hell those things are called? The tank tops? Tank tops, right? I think, whatever. I was wearing some of those, and, you could actually see some form, but I wasn't really gaining any weight. I was still 135. I was just losing body fat and gaining muscle, which is great. But after that, we adopted a dog. And I think after we adopted the dog, things got a lot harder because, originally, Kara and I had the idea that the dog would be hers primarily, and it still is. But I would be a very limited help with the dog, and she would take over the helm of it. And, of course, that didn't really work out. For the good, I love Bellamy. I absolutely love him. He's an angel. But I definitely got a little bit more of a surprise with benefiting more to the dog than I would have originally thought. And that's not a bad thing at all. That's not to blame or anything like that. But I definitely took a larger role in raising Bellamy than I originally thought. Because I thought, Kara will take care of him. I'll just be there for a little bit, drive him to the vet whenever he needs and just feed him every here and there and play with him a little bit. But no, it's like 50-50. He's my animal, and I love the dog. But that threw off the working out part. Where I'm at right now is something I'm very proud of. I think I mentioned it a couple times in videos, but I don't know if I've been too vocal about it. But over the past 6 months, I have completely turned around my diet to one of the best things I've ever done for myself and my physical form. When I was growing up, I was always in the presence of sugar. My parents And I can't blame them for it. I mean, I can, but you know, my parents never raised me on soda. I hardly ever drink soda. I was the kind of guy, if I went to In-N-Out to get a burger, I'd order milk. You know, take that as you please. Carrie used to make fun of me for that, but milk over soda, 100%. I would always have like sugary snacks at my house. You name it, Pop-Tarts, like really anything in that realm. My mind's going blank right now. I've been up for a bit. Pop-Tarts, peanut butter crackers, animal crackers with like the glaze on them or whatever. Just really bad things. The cereals I was eating was like Frosted Flakes, Frosted Mini Wheats, Trix, you know, these things that were very sugary. And that's how I was raised. And it was really hard for me to kick that. But over the past 6 months, I've almost completely eliminated all artificial sugars from my diet. I have successfully transformed my diet into a low sodium and low sugar diet. And for those of you that don't live in the United States, the Willy Wonka chocolate factory of the world, that's an incredibly hard thing to do. Look up anything about our sodium and sugar diets and production, and it's pretty much in every single one of our foods. So switching over to that was a really hard thing. But over the past 6 months, I've almost completely eliminated all artificial sugars and bad sugars from my diet, as well as the majority of sodium. I still get a little bit of it, but my sugar intake is mostly from fruits and more natural things like lactose and milk. I don't know if you can consider that. I don't actually know if it's natural or not, but you get the point. I don't eat candy anymore. I haven't eaten candy in months. I don't snack on peanut butter crackers and applesauce and string cheese anymore. The only things that I snack on are Triscuits, which have 0 sugars and 170 milligrams of sodium, almost nothing, and peanut butter and bananas. That's what I have in my room right now. I don't have the peanut butter on me, but it's here in the, you get the point. So that's been fantastic. And I'm really proud of that. I really am. It's, you know, when I was doing YouTube for so long and when I was really killing it, you know, with HTM and Crazy Aircraft and doing all these beautiful things, I was not caring for my body at all. Like I said, I was in my parents' house. I was eating sugar all the time and my body was really not liking it. I was still underweight and my heart didn't like it, everything. To get to the point, I spent the past 6 months eliminating almost all sugar and sodium from my diet, except for more natural causes to where it's very little now. I'm probably getting maybe 30 grams of sugar a day versus the 90 to 100 that I was getting before. And that's a significant difference. I feel fantastic. The past few days, I moved on to my next challenge. And that's me bulking, trying to gain weight as clean as possible. And that's been, you know, it's been a journey. And that journey's just started. It's been a few days only. And that's what I'm doing right now. So to kind of catch you guys up on where I've been, my goal for the end of the month is to go from 6 foot 135, very skinny like this, to 6 foot 160 at just a start. 25 pounds by the end of the year. And the hard thing for me is that it's very easy to eat a lot of fats and a lot of carbs and gain, you know, fat. Because if you want to gain 2 pounds a week, you can. But you can't physically gain that much in muscle. So for me, I'm trying to gain very slowly and keep very clean. My macros, I'm trying to aim for 35% protein, 30% fat, and whatever the rest would be in carbs. Maybe a little bit off from that, but that's where I'm trying to sit around. And this whole past couple of weeks for me has been studying up on dietary, studying up on fitness, health, and stuff like that. Things I'm going to be working out, how I need to gain weight properly, because I need to gain weight. And it's something that I have had this same exact body, this same exact form my entire life. I have always been the skinny guy. It didn't just appear to me one day. I've had the same weights and same height for 3 years straight. Same little pot belly, same skinny fat body, and I'm tired of it. And I'm really happy with myself because even though I failed with the workout routine because of the dog, not because of the dog, but that definitely played a factor in getting distracted for it, which is still my fault. I definitely wasn't prepared fully for working out because although I was working out, my diet wasn't that great. So I've gone essentially in the past few days from eating 1,600 calories on average, like I was eating before, mostly sugary foods, to eating 3,200 to 3,400 calories of very clean, like peanut butter, shredded wheat, milk, bananas, meats, things like that, meatballs that don't have any sodium or sugar. It's been fantastic for me. And I've been feeling great, man. I know it's a very, making a whole video on something that I just started 3 days ago is a really risky thing, but I feel really confident in it that I've gone 6 months doing this actually, which is a pretty long time for me. I haven't really kept up any workout routines or anything that long before in my life, and that's a big step for me to be able to cut out all bad foods so I can actually, because it's really easy to bulk cheap, right? Eat a lot of calories and you'll gain weight. Simple as that. And I could do that if I wanted to. For example, a pack of 2 Pop-Tarts is 400 calories. I can't eat that though, because that's sugar. But you go on fitness subreddits and things like that, and they ask you, how do you eat 4,000 calories? Pop-Tart's the number one thing on there. I saw it and I'm like, come on. So I'm trying to bulk clean. And I'm no nutritionist and I'm definitely going to mess up, but trying my hardest to keep track of my macros, keep track of what my fat to protein to carbs ratio is, and go from there. And that's where I've been at. And the past week of not uploading has been significantly because I needed to take almost all time away from the computer and just focus on my dietary. So I know, how can I train myself to eat all the time? Because, hey, eating all day, I don't care what anybody says, that shit's hard, all right? Some people can argue it's harder than losing weight. I'm not going to get into that territory, but the idea that I have to now get in a mindset where I meal prep and think of my meal to eat almost every minute of the day, thinking about that whole thing and eat cleanly is very difficult. At least for me. I'm new to it. And I mean, shit, it's going to be a challenge, but I'm really happy where I am. And that's what my goal is, 160 by the end of the year. And I'll definitely update you guys. I'm not going to share any pictures right now, beforehand, but I mean, shit. You guys know I'm not too great at keeping things in, and now you know this, and it's nothing secret, no surprises. I'm not very mysterious, I guess is the thing. Some YouTubers are very mysterious. They don't like to tell a lot. They just show every here and there, like, hey guys, I've been working out for the past 2 years, and you never knew, because I stopped using face cam because I claimed it was broke, and then all of a sudden I come out to this buffed jock that's 196 foot. I'm not like that. I like to fill you guys in a little bit more, because I hate leaving YouTube and not updating you guys, but I've been very happy, and I'm really taking the time, and have been the past 6 months, focusing on my body, because hey, 21 years old, and you know what? Being underweight is going to catch up. Being underweight can be as mentally, what's the word? Not mentally challenging. Physically challenging, I should say. Mentally challenging? Ooh, that is not at all what I'm talking about. Not as, medically, not mentally, medically. Similar words. I'm tired. Medically problematic as being overweight. Underweight and overweight, they both have their same share of problems. And, it's scary. I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to grow up and I need to take action on my body. That's what I'm focusing right on right now. And I'm going to try and do YouTube with that. And the other thing that I want to talk about, point number 2, with the uploads, I just want to say I hope you guys are enjoying Minecraft again. Because I had during this time or whatever, I stopped uploading. Even though I was still making videos here and there, I just wasn't uploading Minecraft. You guys know I'm doing the Bernero series on Uncharted. I had a lot of time to think and to talk to Kara about that series because you guys like it. You guys like us, and I've got a really good episode coming out tomorrow of it. But the thing is, the Minecraft community, it's not the same as it was anymore. And I miss how it was. Back in 2016, 2015, the community was a lot more diverse. There was a larger demographic of the game. And I feel like the game now in 2018, especially on PvP-based servers like Uncharted, now I've talked to the owner, Devin, I've talked to these guys about it. They're not blind to it, I can say it. The community on there is incredibly toxic. It's pretty bad when you let it kind of go off. And I let that get to me. In fact, earlier this morning, I tried recording a video and I actually outbursted, which is something I never do. I preach to not be toxic, and for the most part, I'm never toxic in video games, especially a game like Rocket League. People trash talk me all the time because I ain't that good, especially for my rank. I ain't that good, and it never gets under my skin. But this morning I was playing on Uncharted, and shit, man, I got targeted by someone, and then someone dropped me an L, and then all of a sudden I kind of blew up. And it wasn't anything ugly. It was just, I'm not cursing all over the place or becoming a terrible person. It just was an outburst for me, a situation that I should have handled privately rather than publicly. And of course, because of that, whole server started flaming me, and it was bad. It showed character of the server as well, too. The fact that I had one outburst and I got blown back in my face. So, I learned something, but I do wish that the Minecraft community was like it used to be. For example, you guys remember back in 2016, 2015, I used to be able to hop into hackers, games with hackers on like Money Wars and Bed Wars back then. Money Wars primarily. And I'd make videos talking to them. You know, I used to claim that hacking, I thought you're a terrible person for it. I still think you're not that great of a person for hacking. I don't think it's a great thing to do. I don't think it's a true judge of how great you are as a person, but I think it's a pretty good judge of character. I used to jump into these games and I would talk to hackers, people that were, you know, doing bad things. I'd stop in the middle of a game and talk to them for 5 minutes straight. And by the end of it, I'd actually reason with some of them. Sure, you guys probably watched a video of that too. I'm jogging some memories, I guarantee it. I know the map. I remember one map. It was the map, what was it? I don't remember the name, but it had all the, was it Steam something? Steampunk, I think? It had all the cobwebs down below. I talked to a hacker on there that was ruining the whole game for everybody else. He stopped hacking and quit. Like, after talking to me, he just let me win the game and was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to do that anymore. Nowadays in Minecraft, I tried talking sense into some of the people on there and, you know, the same thing. And you just get trollish behavior back and forth. And I just think that's because the demographic in Minecraft is a lot more toxic. I think it's because when a community dies down a little bit lower, you sort of get an elitist group that sort of forms. When a game is really thriving, you have a lot of new people coming in, you know, very rampantly. Whereas the higher up people that kind of become a little bit more toxic because they're that top game, they're not seen as much because of how many new people there are. When the community simmers down, you start to get those names and people start getting recognized, and then they start becoming a lot more exclusive, a lot more toxic, and that's the Minecraft community as it is right now. I've seen that happen with so many games, and if I'm phrasing this wrongly, then I apologize, but I think you get the point. So I had a thought for a few days during this week. I'm like, I feel like I'm going backwards uploading Minecraft because I don't want to promote a game that, you know, is on a server that has such a toxic community. But I talked with Devin, the server owner, and, you know, I chatted with him for a while about my concerns because, shit, you can't solve toxicity, especially when a lot of them are the people supporting the servers as well, too, and the people that just spend the most time on there. You can't just ban them all, you know what I mean? Because they won't have a community. If you ban those people, you know, it doesn't work. You lose a giant player base that, not because of the money that they're giving, but it just doesn't work. And hopefully you understand why. I talked to him about it, and, you know, he mentioned that, you know, you guys that hop on, that play the game with me, are really positive. And that wasn't coming from my mouth. That was coming from the server owner's mouth. Not anything have I said. So I think I do want to continue uploading Uncharted and playing with Kara because we both love this series. We spend hours on there a day. And I think that despite the fact that the Minecraft community isn't really the game where it's at anymore, I know that the ceiling of growth is not really there unless I want to do like really bad meme videos or just not content that I'm really, you guys know I've never really appeal to the really young demographic. I don't like making that kind of content. I like playing Minecraft because it's a fun as hell game. I freaking love the game. It's a fantastic game. And Kara and I both love playing it together, and we always have. That's how we met, and 5 years later, we're still doing it, man. Our anniversary is on July 7th, by the way, too. That's 2 weeks from now, about. Kara and I have been together for 5 years. A little random note, but, I mean, shit. Think about it like this. Kara and I met June 23rd, and we got together July 7th. 2 weeks later, we know each other for 2 weeks, and we started dating. And we've been together for 5 years, and we've been fantastic. So, if any of you guys are out there, you know, I can't give much advice with love, but if any of you guys are out there getting trash talked by your friends or something saying you jumped into a relationship too quickly, I went through 3 years of long distance and moved with this chick, and we live in a house together, so screw them, all right? Love can happen at any rate. Just be careful with it, you know? Love's a fragile thing. So that's kind of where I've been at. I had a pretty huge mental break for the most part, trying to figure out if I really wanted to record Minecraft or not. And I've stopped Minecraft before. You know, I stopped it for a bit, but this is kind of a decision right now where I wanted to say if I'm completely done uploading it forever or if I wanted to actually continue giving it a chance. And I'm going to give it a chance. Just, you know, I don't really want to come back to a terrible community, but I know that there are a lot of people there that are just toxic kids. I'm going to have to try my hardest to just ignore that or just make content that doesn't surround that sort of thing. But I think I'm going to continue uploading Minecraft, and hopefully you guys like that. Just kind of been in a mental block the past weekend. I know I've really not been consistent. I've been telling you guys since the 6-week update or 6-year update video that I'm in a much better place and I can really hop down and record. And I am. But, I put my all into this series that I thought was going to be daily. And then, the community is really, you kind of, the train kind of stops in its tracks after a little bit because you think, oh shit, is this the series that I want to do? And you panic a little bit. So that's where I've been at. I'm working on my physical form, which hopefully you guys are rooting for me with that. It'd be nice to have a little yeah, go Brandon, Peppo cheer, and hypers and chat. And I've also been trying to figure out my whole deal with what I want to upload on YouTube. But I think Minecraft's gonna stay. Ark Extinction's coming out in November. Wish it was sooner, but definitely gonna be playing that mod pack when it comes out. And I don't know, might do another Ark Let's Play in the meantime too. So if you guys like that idea, we'll see. But, I want to try out new things with my YouTube channel, and you guys can say whatever you want. I know it's not in the best state, but I'll get there. I promise you. I've had success on YouTube before. I can do it again. I'm still 21 years old. I can still throw a laugh here and there. I've got a good attitude, right? You know what I mean? I've got a pretty good attitude, I think. And long as I'm still kicking, long as I've got the attitude, I think I'll be all right. So I love you guys very much. Thank you for watching this video. It was a little rambly a bit, but I think videos where I just talk to you guys about my life, they're going to be a bit rambly rather than cut up. So if you made it all this way, I appreciate you very much. And thank you. Seriously, if you made it all this way, you obviously care. Or you just left me and you're doing nothing. Hey, if you're in the middle of multitasking right now, say hi to me. I'm not just a voice in the back of your computer, okay? I mean, you could be. You can fall asleep to my voice if you really want to. You could talk very close and very slowly like this. You could fall asleep to my voice because some people have said I should be a radio host, a radio announcer, maybe a sportscaster or something for golf. But people aren't playing golf. People are just sleeping on the green like you should be sleeping on your bed. ASMR is coming tomorrow. No, not actually. That'd be interesting. That'd be a fun one. Get the little ASMR mic. I'm being weird. Love you guys very much. Thank you for watching. And see you guys tomorrow with the continuation of videos.